All right, here we go. How did we get here? Oh my god. All right, how did we get here by shoe on head?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mandami defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people now? Did they finally learn their lesson? No. Thanks for watching. My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat and die movement. Spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable—
It's the men shut up and die movement, white people shut up and die movement, America shut up and die movement, Christians shut up and die movement. That's what it is, yeah.
shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically—
Did she say Hillary Clinton and brownface?
the same. As the right embraces working class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing, and it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already? But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats have a plan to scoop these people up? Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win. Deciding to win, as if the whole time they had just been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now. In this video, I will talk about why I think Zohran Mandami won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of shoesalism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything, but baka. I know a lot of you are not very interested in politics. You come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men vs. women content. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives, whether you want it to or—
I'm the target audience of this, because I do want to hear the political stuff.
Or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it, and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors to work with, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum.
She went Super Saiyan.
From left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the White House apparently intervened in an Andrew Tate federal probe. 29 news sources covered this. 86% of them were left-wing. None were right-wing. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline reads, Elon Musk claps back at Billie Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth. And this left-wing article frames the same story as, Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes. Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because it is just a great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description down below below. It's only like $5 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee. You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad. Right. Now, let's get back to the video. For those of you familiar with the Shoe on Head channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career. Some say too harshly. Frankly, I don't care. And some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest, that's not why you come here. You go to Kyle Kulinski for that. Just like you go to Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN, or to Hassan for dog training tips. You come here to hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left-wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually getting their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mandami won the election and will become the new—
That sucks. I'm sorry, Shu.
Mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're one of those people, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand why Trump won. It's actually extremely understandable why Zohran Mandami won, and it's not just because New York is full of commies or whatever. He is objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the bar is in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic. And people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out? You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean? It's always such a breath.
You know what else you need? You want to know? You want to know the other paradox of this whole thing is all of this free shit that you want. So you have all of these people who are like, oh, we're super commies, bro. Like, we totally want, like, free shit all the time. But you know what? Fuck businesses. Like, fuck them. Fuck all those big fucking corporate shills. Fuck them, bro. And, like, you have those people. Like, you do realize that the only way you could even remotely have free shit is with all of the stuff that you hate. Like, these big companies super optimizing, providing all of these services for the lowest possible fucking price for people to be able to have them, you know, paying all of the it's not even like the company itself paying taxes, it's the workers that work at the company, because you don't really pay taxes if like you're not really making a ton of money. And that's because most businesses focus on expansion, and all of their wealth is really kind of generated by like kind of speculative shit. So anyway, you can't really have that at the same time. And then you have the same people who are like, oh, you know, fuck AI, bro. AI is like so awful. And then you have those people wanting free shit as well. It's not, it's really incompatible.
The fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island and I go to the CVS and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way. Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people. I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo— I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
you killed a shit ton of people. For what? Plus, he doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey,
yeah, that was my favorite big booty Latina. Yeah,
not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate.
Don't you love that the state of politics is say good thing, get votes? Like, the actual plan doesn't matter. Like, the actual underlying, like, everything doesn't matter. It's just, hey guys, let's get all the free shit. Yeah, boy. It's gonna be great. Make everything cheap again. And it's like, wow, we should vote for that. And they didn't even fucking know, like,
about New York City, and 80% of it is about another fucking country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel.
I'd make my 4th trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Listen, yeah, no wonder he won. No wonder he won.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew Zohran was going to win. Bro was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're like, where would you go? And Zohran was like, I'm gonna stay here. And instead of being like, no, Zohran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that question. His win was very much in part a direct response to...
I gotta tell you something, chat. I gotta expand on this a bit. So, when I started doing more political commentary, I had a very favorable view of Israel, and that I still kind of believe this, is that like they're a better alternative to like what's around them. And I liked them as like a friend, okay? But as I started to do more of this shit, I started to see the absolute cock gargling of like politicians, where I'm like, yeah, you know, that's great. Israel is great, and like, you know, they can help us out, and like they have, you know, like they're not gonna fucking bomb us and shit. Like they're not gonna, you know, Allahu Akbar us and shit. So like, you know what? Cool, I like them, right? I went from that to like just hearing constantly, just the constant dick sucking. And I'm like, wait a minute, but what about America? Right? And they'd be like, oh yeah, like, I totally love America. America is my favorite place, except for Israel. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So you had me at Israel, good friend, better than the alternative. You had me at that. I was like, okay, fair enough. But the constant dick sucking, I'm just like, bro, can you fucking get that dick out of your mouth, please? Can you get it out of your mouth and fucking like actually talk without fucking cum down your throat? Like I'm just so tired of it. Am I the only one tired of this shit? It's so irritating, bro. Like holy fuck. And like, how did this happen? Like, how did they turn it into now when I hear something about Israel, it just makes me want to throw up? You know what I mean? And it's like I said, I didn't even start at a place of being like, yeah, I didn't even start at a place of being like, yeah, like Israel, like overreach, fucking, you know, they took over Palestine. I wasn't even coming at it from that angle. Okay? How did they turn me into a person that is like, dude, I just don't want to hear about Israel. Just fucking stop, please. Just never talk about it. Just fucking, I get it. You fucking want to suck their dick. I get it. Just fucking stop it. Stop making yourself look like a fool. How did this happen, man?
to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh, great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget, budget, budget. You need a plan. Also remember...
Islam has a lot of money, dude. I'm gonna be 100% real with you. I don't give a fuck about the shit that happens over there. I'm concerned with America. And I would like to like take care of our country. I think America should be number one. I don't really care about they want to have their little tribal feud in like fucking the Middle East, and that's on them. Unless they want to build a nuke, and then they're gonna, you know, unless they're like a psycho regime that wants to build a nuke, then I think we should blow them up. But like other than that, I don't really care.
Adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18. Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the banks.
Zohran's win was also basically a direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to
I was talking about the Iran thing. The nuke thing. I was talking about Iran.
The pie-in-the-sky commie gobbledygook that Zohran Mandami is selling. Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home.
You know, like back in the day, how if there was an enemy that like completely hated you and they like were incompatible to the point that like if you went to war against them, like their son would just like the son of like the, you know, the dad is like the goes to war and you kill the dad because they're trying to kill you. And so like you kill the dad. And then the son, he grows up to like hate you too, and he just starts a new war in like 10 years. You know what they did back in the day? They used to just wipe out everybody.
At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest. That is proposed.
They pulled a Tanya. Yeah, basically. And it's kind of like, I don't know, like you have to take them over, basically. That's my honest opinion. Is that if there's a country that fucking hates us and they want to destroy us, we just have to take them over. We have to take over and re-educate all of them. It's the only way. I think we're huge pussies, to be honest, nowadays. Like we've become like huge fucking pussies where like our like the whole feelings that shit and emotion, like we've completely been pussified to the point that we have enemies like literally like right there breathing down our neck, just waiting to be able to like kill us, basically. And like the fact that we even let that like still occur is retarded, I think. Personally,
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No, just being a good.
I'm pretty sure people will get mad at me for that take, but I'm just being honest. It's really this simple. Let me explain to you. It's very, very simple. All right, if you think that my ideology is like fucking like vile and disgusting, let me explain it to you in simple terms.
Who the fuck is Leaflit?
I care about my family. I care about me, my family, my culture, my neighborhood, my city, my town, my city, my state, my country, and I care about everything in that order. So if you're gonna give me a choice of having like a person that is like near us within strike range of like being able to like launch a freaking missile that will like blow up my whole town, then I have no fucking problem like glassing the entire place, personally. And you might think that that's like a really like disgusting thing to say, but my family and me, we live before you, and it doesn't fucking matter. I will literally glass your entire country if you can tell me that me allowing everybody to live in that country will lead to like my country being destroyed and my family being killed. I'll glass all of you. I'll glass your whole continent if I have to. It's just that simple.
Little slave to the bank for 50 years. You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z? Vote for us. We'll release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. awesome.
And like, if you think that that's dumb, you're just retarded, basically. You're retarded, and you can go kill yourself somewhere else. I don't want to be a part of your self-annihilation. You go do that on your own.
Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein Files Phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein Files are on my desk. Oh, that's great, that's great. That's what we've been waiting for.
Leave hard base, hard survival instinct, more like normal survival instinct. I've read and watched a lot of history. And like, the people that like don't like actually watch history, they don't understand human nature because they don't look at the conflicts that we've had in the past. This is the inevitable future. And like, you're freaking stupid if you can't see it in front of your face, because all of history points towards it.
Well, oh, they don't exist. Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein Files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax.
And every single time a person has said, oh, history doesn't apply to me because we're better, those people have always fallen. Every empire, large empire that has thought that has fallen.
But you just said, hey, what the fuck? That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Ugh. Bye. Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us. Why? What do you have to offer? Hey, that's my wallet again. What are you people doing? Sorry, Israel needs new weapons.
Why do they agree on this? Why is this the one thing they agree on? Oh my god. Ty Spy, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Files are a really big deal. This is not.
Yo, I have an idea. Can we rent them weapons? How about that? How about that, chat? How about we rent them weapons instead? That seems like a better idea. How about that? Oh, you guys have a problem with the thing? Okay, fine. You know, you can buy the ammo from us. We'll rent you the guns and we'll rent you the guns and the fucking you know, the planes to do whatever you want, and like the defense systems. But you know, that's ours still. We can take it back whenever we want. Why don't we do that? That seems way better.
A partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international child trafficking blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, true. I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation.
Yo, chat, how mad do you think people are gonna be at my take? How mad do you think? How mad is the tweet's gonna be? What do you think, chat? You're gonna be really mad at my basic ass fucking normal take. My normal survivalist take that doesn't want my family to die.
Okay,
I'm literally the most evil person in existence.
Trump is saying
I'm literally the demon lord.
He is releasing the Epstein Files. So I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the f is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already going to be more things that have happened. Also, Mike Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent
VTuber Hitler? Well, tell you what. The difference is if they want to leave us alone, they can. Giving them an opportunity to leave us alone, never fuck with us again. But the instant they even fucking breathe on us,
damage to the political system. If releasing the Epstein Files would do damage to the political system, then so be it.
I 100% I agree with you 100%. The safety of one's family should be top priority. Yeah, how is that crazy? How have we like subverted like how have we subverted like morals and honor so hard that we sympathize with the side that wants to kill us? It's fucking stupid.
Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves to be destroyed. Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But it wasn't just the Epstein Files thing that has MAGA feelings.
I totally agree with Shu on this, by the way. The Epstein Files, they should release them, yeah. Them holding the Epstein Files is only hurting them. Like, every day that they hold on to it hurts them more.
Demoralized lately.
Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't.
Either they have to release them or tell us exactly why they can't release them and what it's going to take for them to release them. They need to be transparent.
Flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people.
Wait, what?
You don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video.
Dumb.
The no talented Americans thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't use.
It's in their benefit. It's in the benefit of big corporations to like have a bigger hiring pool, obviously, because then they could get more. They can get higher talent at less of a price. Even if you were to say that the foreigners aren't as good as Americans, they still will drive down the prices due to their existence of like basically flooding the market.
Unionized worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business. And it's not that I want...
the dumb thing about it, too, is that they're going to be like, well, what about the innocent people that are going to die? I was like, yeah, well, what about the innocent people that are going to die from their fucking reign of terror? What about that?
Them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like...
I accept the fact that innocent people will die, 100%. I accept, I'm 100% aware of that, and I know. That's the difference.
But 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation.
Because you know why? Because I've read history. And I've watched like a lot of documentaries about history. I've studied it. And that has happened throughout all of history. People always die during war. Innocent people always get killed. It's a fact of life.
Contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk.
And if I had to pick which innocent people died, is it my people or is it their people? Then I pick my people to survive. If I had to trade, like if I had to pick like who's gonna die, it's not gonna be my people.
Staggering. Republicans embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were
Put it this way, man. Like, if there was like a mother bear and like their cub was being threatened, do you think they give a shit about? Do you think they give a shit about whatever's on the other side? It doesn't matter to them. It could be like literally anything, and they'll still fight you. Doesn't matter. That's kind of how I feel about it.
No weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at that time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was...
Sorry, that being said, I'm tangenting so much. I'm so sorry. That being said, I don't like needless bloodshed, obviously. So I'm not saying that like I love it when people die. I don't like it when innocent people die, obviously. But and this is kind of like the stupid straw man that like people will do is like, oh, you love it when people die. Like, no, I don't want innocent people to die. But the thing is I understand that innocent people will die. It's real. It's realistic, basically. Innocent people will die. In fact, the longer you drag things on, the more innocent people will die. So.
Heard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very long time.
That's true,
like,
yeah.
I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump.
Damn,
country
real
there
damn.
Before Trump
based.
Oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here.
Nuggies?
One second.
Wait, what kind?
Let's go get my nuggies.
Damn, I want nuggies. What the fuck? I want. Damn, I want nuggies. God.
34-year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way.
I love
Before Trump,
nuggies.
the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about...
Mizuki, thank you so much. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. Give me my nuggies. Dude, I want nuggies
But now
right
it
now.
seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be? Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis, wreaking havoc on Americans, is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work...
Wait, but it's not, we're not even doing any free market shit. That's the point. This is all crony bullshit. What the hell?
They bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah,
Wait,
I know
what?
you can't afford to live here.
That doesn't work. They bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here.
There's nothing wrong with that. Wait, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Wait. I know you guys are saying fuck Ben, but what's wrong with that? Like, if you live in LA and like LA is too expensive, then like what choice do you have? It's a realistic take.
I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve...
You gotta move. That's what everybody has done throughout history. Is everyone has always sought greener pastures, and that's like what you should do if you're young, if you can. You know, obviously that doesn't help people that are like ingrained in a certain place, like they have all of their like society around there, like their family and stuff like that. Obviously, it's harder for some people. No, he's not. He's not talking about America. How could he be talking about America? Where would Americans move? There's no way. There's no fucking way. This is about America as a
to live
whole.
where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is...
Is he saying to leave the U.S.? No way. Are you sure? This sounds bullshit.
Almost literally the opposite of that.
Hold on, I'm gonna listen to the whole thing. Hold on.
Yeah,
and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not. You guys, you're just wrong. He's not talking about... Guys, like, I'm not a Ben Shapiro shill, okay? But, like, he's not wrong. He's basically saying that, like, he's talking about it in terms of, like, locality that you live in. So, like, and the problem with this is he's just right, like, just purely speaking on, like, in terms of, like, realism. And you know, this isn't, like, a good thing, obviously, right? But if you live in LA, right? Like, say you grew up in LA, your politicians are fucking shit. And they jacked up the prices of everything where it's impossible to live there. You continuing to live there under their reign will just fuck up your life, basically. So you have to move out of there for greener pastures, as everyone has always done throughout all of history. Maybe a well dries up, maybe, you know, a bad governor's in town, or maybe there's a drought or something like that. People have always moved to greener pastures. People have not always just lived where they were born. And that was actually the whole reason America was created in the first place, was because people in Europe were like, fuck this place. We're going to, we're going to go brave the fucking ocean and move to literally butt fuck Egypt to like try to make a better life for ourselves and our families, because fuck this place. And that's what they did. That's how America was founded.
It's the classic. Just move. Just move from
a city, sure, but it's unaffordable, basically. No, it's not. It's really not. If you live like in the countryside, things are insanely cheaper. Like around where I live, there's houses you can get, brand new houses for $150,000. You can get one. Brand new house, fiber internet, everything. It's ready to go. You have to live somewhere else though. You gotta live like in the countryside, unfortunately. And like, maybe like one day you can move back after you've made a ton of money, but like basically handicapping yourself by living in a fucking level 60 zone. You know, being a little nooblet. Being a little nooblet and then trying to live in the level 60 zone, you're just gonna fuck yourself over.
Economic zone 67 to economic.
Damn, here's a Leaf L. How's it an L? What's the point? Okay. Explain to me the point, Julia. Explain it to me. Explain to me the point. Explain to me how you're going to realistically take all of these cities back from Democrats. Explain it to me. Let's hear it. Let's hear a realistic take on how we're going to do this. Some people have jobs. Yeah, well, you know, you can get a new job. People lose their jobs. People move all the time for work. How are you going to do it? You abolish taxes? Okay, so you abolish taxes and then the Democrats go, oh, they have more money. Let's increase the prices. Now what do? If you continue to live under tyranny, you're going to continue to live under tyranny. That's my point. Is the only thing you can control is yourself. You can't control these fucktards that control the cities. You can't control them. You have to adapt. Basically, yourself. You yourself, you have to adapt. And this idea of like, I deserve to live here. This is like where I grow. I deserve this. It's not going to help you. That's my point. I'm not saying that your feelings aren't valid. Your feelings are definitely valid of being fucking pissed that you can't live in that place. Yes, your feelings are valid. But crying about it is not going to solve anything. That's my point. I'm trying to save you from yourself. Ben says where you grew up, therefore the place in which your parent... Okay, hold on. The point is the following. Ben says where you grew up, therefore the place which your parents managed to make a life back then was affordable. The issue is no longer affordable. That is assuming you have a decent job. Okay, well, you know... Okay, Julio. Let me explain something to you. What happens if a place develops? So say like you live next to a river, like a really nice river, and you live next to that river all by yourself. Your little cottage, you lived out there in the middle of nowhere. Next, a person moves in next to you, and another person moves in next to you. And all the people are like, wow, this is a nice river to live by. And then you have a fuck ton of people living around you. Okay? And it starts being built up into a city, right? So what happens when that occurs? There's more people, there's more shit, demand increases, the price of living there increases. What a job could provide for you and said city 2 generations ago doesn't work anymore, not because the work sucks anymore, but because the issue is that is no longer affordable. That is assuming you have a decent job. What a job could provide for you in the city 2 generations ago doesn't work anymore. Not because the work sucks anymore, but because there's more expensive due to bad policies, politics, corruption. It's yes. And what I'm saying is, what do you do about that? What do you do about it? That's my point. Is like, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to convince all of the people to stop getting free shit? Explain that shit to me. How are you going to do that? My point is that you can control yourself. You can't control all of society. Of course you got to move, but that shouldn't be what you have to do. No, I agree. But where and what was said is basically what about what was said is saying that it was a good thing. That's what people are arguing? Well, I mean, obviously. The hell what are you talking about? Obviously, it's a bad thing that it's occurring. But what I'm saying is you can't control these freaks. You can't do anything about it. I'm being realistic. I'm being realistic and telling you the way to solve your problem. Of course, it feels good for me to say, oh, poor you. It fucking sucks, man. Those damn Democrats, they fucked you over, man. There's nothing you can do about it, you know? They fucked you over. There's nothing you can do about it. It's so sorry. It's none of this is your fault. The Democrats, it's all of their fault. They fucked everything for you. And there is nothing you can do about it. That's comforting to say, but that doesn't solve the problem. I'm not the type of person to tell people how to fucking wallow in their sorrow. I'm talking about how do you fix the problem? You yourself. How can you within what you can control, how do you solve the problem? That's what I'm talking about. And if you want to come back there, sure. You leave first, build up your life, build up your business, build up your wealth, and then you come back. Sure, you could do that. But continuing to live there and suffering is not going to solve your problem. Rana says, we live in a world refusing to look at how the world is in reality, but wishing how you want it to be. Yes. What I'm talking about is not what it ought to be. What I'm talking about is what it is. And like, I feel like a lot of people keep confusing this about me. I'm talking about what the world is right now, how it exists in the state that it exists currently. And how do you solve that problem? Not what it should be. Not what, like, if I had total control, if Leaflit had total control of the world, how would you do it? Well, yeah, of course I'd make it so people can live in their hometowns, of course. Why the fuck wouldn't I want that?
Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just...
Leave the US became too expensive with you leave? Well, then you're fucked. My point is that you're not fucked. So your argument is not even, like, real. Your argument is just bullshit, basically.
Deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't...
The fact is that you can't move right now. That's the point I'm making.
Just deal with it.
Has nothing to do with what I would do in a situation where it's absolutely fucked and there's literally nothing you can do, because that's not the case that we're even talking about.
Just move. Maybe
Stop
we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one...
Yeah, and this is the part that does suck. I totally agree with Shu on here, is that this is the case I carved out earlier. So when I first started talking about this, I was like, if you can afford to do it, because a lot of people are really perma-stuck because they're rooted with their families and like they don't want to leave their families. Their families are such a huge, important part of their lives, where moving away from their family would like be unacceptable to them. And that case I totally agree with. Like, I totally understand that case. In which case I really do feel for you if that's the case.
Reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village. If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands too much? You guys have made me so insecure.
What the hell's going on? No, yeah, I was talking about what it is. I wasn't talking about what it ought to be. Yeah, you guys made it into what it ought to be. I never was talking about that. Yeah, I never was talking about what things ought to be. I was always talking about what it is. Because I think what it is more important than what it ought to be. At least like on an individual level, it's more important. I'm more concerned with the individual level because the individual level is where real changes can be made. Because there's too much fucking bullshit with like the government and all of these people in power. There's just way too much bullshit. It's way too hard to navigate for like an individual person.
Care about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme.
I'm pragmatic, listen, I'm a woman. Says Sonic. Yes, I'm very pragmatic.
Okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on like race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up.
How did this happen? How did people get so fucking pissed? Like, dude, it's almost like, dude, you talk about Israel at all and these people just get set off completely. Like, how did this happen?
Recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy 420.
Just shows how much they waste time.
People can't afford groceries,
Can you guys
Charles.
fucking believe that? They get, dude, how much money does it cost to like run them? Let's see if Grok can figure this shit out for me because it's kind of complicated. Holy fucking shit. Do you know how much money each of them makes? They make $608 per hour being in the fucking Congress. Holy fuck, dude. Each individual person. Bro, and they're wasting time basically talking shit about Nick Fuentes. This is unreal. Bro. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I hate the government so much. Just waste so much money. They waste so much money and so much time fucking jacking off, and they expect us to pay for it. This is why I get so mad. Okay, how much do you think it costs? What do you think, chat? How much money do you think it costs? So if you take the budget for the House, salaries, allowances, staff, committees, all of those expenses, if you were to calculate all of that, consider the amount of time that they're actually active in lawmaking. How much money do you think it costs to have all of them in there for an hour to make a resolution about fucking saying Nick Fuentes is an asshole? How much money do you think it costs, chat? It's $2.4 million. So you have to understand, they spent $2.4 million to basically talk shit about Nick Fuentes. Like, just think about that for a moment. Like, they spent that amount of money for stupid bullshit, basically. This is what I'm fucking talking about.
Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zohran Mandami and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop.
It's fucking salty, bro. I think he's salty because fucking Nick Fuentes, like he hates Nick Fuentes, dude. Oh, it must hurt so bad.
I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice that worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time.
Which is
the one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them.
What
as
free
well
market?
As a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them.
What free market?
Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is—
Also, isn't it kind of crazy that all the places that do have a free market do fucking really well? Damn, that's crazy. That's so crazy.
Locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of fucked up how you work 40 hours a week?
Socialism will work this time. I guarantee it. This time it'll work. Yeah.
You can still can't afford to pay rent?
We just haven't done it well enough, that's why.
What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now, with all this neocon rhetoric coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying, because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net. 2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and cultural issues.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal is a groundbreaking political discovery. You. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this.
Honestly, this is a good thing. I really think so. It's a good thing. I don't want the Democrats to be super crazy.
I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue of crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from Nancy Pelosi randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor.
This sounds like you know that manifestation shit? That's what that sounds like. You just say it enough and it happens. You manifest your own you manifest your own desires
of winning.
How deep? How thought-provoking. Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns, and less focused on the economy and middle class. The table below shows the shift. Through an analysis of the prevalence of...
It's so fucking easy. People just want to feel like the government is actually on their side and not on literally... They want to feel that the government is on the side of normal, law-abiding, good Americans and not fucking literally anything else. These fucking agendas, freaking criminals, freaking Israel, all of it. They just want to feel like, hey, this is our country. Can we care about us? Americans are sick and tired of being cucked. That's what it is, basically.
Elected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the gays, 1,044%. Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that. Veterans, negative 31%. Them. The economy, negative 51 because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about...
But racism! Gay racism.
Something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It's somehow...
Racism and penis swashbuckling. I'm a Democrat and that's my platform.
Gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying?
It's
you gotta bring something different,
stupid.
something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economics.
This is why everyone likes Trump, by the way, because politicians are retarded. And Trump wasn't really a politician. That's why everybody liked Trump.
Populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna
They're like literally anything except another politician. Literally anybody. I don't care if he talks mad shit. I don't care if they meme all the time on X. Don't care. Lucas, thank you so much for the prime. Thank you.
change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad. Again. Which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing. Again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it? Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just a tip. I'm talking embracing shoe-socialism. For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic. But I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are gonna be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f you want to call it.
That's me.
It sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if instead we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country? All the data shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the shoe-socialist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a shoe-socialist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast...
Hear me out, guys. My dislike of free shit from the government is not even rooted in some sort of scarcity. Even if it were the case that we actually did have money to give to every random person that doesn't want to work, if there was a person that didn't work and they were like, well, you guys have tons of money, everybody's living in prosperity, you should give me the extra money so I can live on my own. So let's assume that we did have all of the resources to give it to a person who doesn't want to work. You want to know what I would say, chat? I'd say, fuck you, and shut the hell up. You don't get to say anything. You don't get to demand anything from me. You can eat my whole fucking ass and get to work. Because I don't think this has anything to do with that. For me, the idea that you should be entitled to free shit because we can give you free shit, I don't like that morally. So it has nothing to do with scarcity. And it has everything to do with if we want to give it to you, that's up to us. You don't get to force us to give you shit. If I give you a hamburger because I feel bad for you, then that's because I'm a good person, not because you deserve it.
Or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system. Wow, what a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where like they look at issues and instead of
think of it this way, chat. Like a person doing this, imagine if there was a streamer who was like, do you guys remember that streamer that was like, don't be what did they say? They said something like, don't be a broke boy or something like that. And if you can't even afford a sub, then like, what are you even doing here? Like, this is some shit like that. Like, bro, it's exactly like that, basically. It's exactly like that. Like, you should be thankful for every single fucking person that subs to you. Thank you so much, Slim Gray, for the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You should be thankful because they're only doing that because they want to. It's not because you have some kind of inherent, you don't have an inherent entitlement to it. It's because people are doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. And that's how we should treat people on welfare. It's the same thing.
being like, that solution makes sense to me.
It's only because they want to give it to you, nothing more.
Leaflit?
I believe that. I agree with that. They instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me. And that's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever. And it's like, no.
You know, Precure brought up a cool thing earlier. Like, Precure brought up this thing to me earlier. How we need to live in a society that is basically guilt-based. Where people feel bad for taking from others. And that's like the kind of society we need to live in. Not necessarily a shame society, but a guilt society. So it kind of goes into this like thing here, where basically you have like the differences in culture, right? Where if you're in a guilt-based society, right? If you believe that you're guilty, you know, this is how it would be, right? If others believe you're guilty, then you get punished, right? But then the difference here is when people believe that you're not guilty, you would still feel guilty regardless. Even if you don't get caught, you would still feel guilty for like the bad thing that you did, right? And then if you're not guilty, you know, you would fight the accusation, obviously, right? But in a shame-based culture, you have, if you're guilty, and then they find you to not be guilty, no one knows, so you're not shamed, therefore you have no sort of, hey, what's up, Merriweather? How's it going, man? So you have, you don't get shamed, so you don't really have like a immediate negative effect, right? Whereas like if you're a guilty person, you would still feel the negative effect because the shame, I suppose, the shame and the guilt is internal. It's basically something that you have in terms of like your conscience, right? So anyway, and it's just, there's an interesting like, you know, I don't really understand like, you know, the idea behind this, but I'm guessing this has to do with some kind of polling that they did, like research polling that they did to find out like what the most the societies that actually were most guilt-based versus shame-based. And I'm assuming that they asked questions of the people and to try to understand like kind of their culture, right? And you can see here that a lot of the West is a lot of the guilt-based culture. And, you know, a lot of it is places that the West has touched, like Australia, right? And then you have, you know, even Japan is like kind of a shame society, right? Korea being, you know, much more still involved with like Americans, right? And then you have even places in South America right here. You have like, you know, there's Chile right there on the blue for you, Julio. But a lot of these cultures are mostly guilt-based. And I think like, I don't even know where I was going with that now. I totally fucking lost my train of thought. But I think that having a guilt-based culture is like way better. And that just has to do with humility and gratitude, right? Having humility and gratitude towards like what is given to you. And I think what destroys that is entitlement. Entitlement is like it's the antithesis of it's the antithesis of gratitude, basically, right? So anyway, that's what I was talking about. Forbidden Gobble, thank you so much for the gift to Merriweather. Thank you, Mary, again. I hope you had a good day, man. Thank you.
Well, I'm not a fence sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American.
So I remember what I was going to say. So that's the reason why whether or not I believe people should get free shit is not necessarily based on scarcity, right? Because a lot of people will make the argument of scarcity of like, well, you know, sure, we can't give them free stuff now because we don't have enough. But one day when we have enough, we should give everyone free shit. I'm actually against that morally. And you might think that I'm an asshole for that, but I think that it leads to like a corruption of the soul when you give people free shit just because they exist.
circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand. She likes free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed.
No, they're not the same thing.
Like, they had a small brief...
They're not the same thing. Like, again, this is an issue of like ought versus what is. So what is right now, that is the situation that is, and it's not what it should be though. So that I agree with. That like the system is terrible, and like it has been like a massive failure of like government and politicians that have put us into this situation where we are fucked and we can't live, you know, with our families. We can't easily live in the place where we grew up. And that, I think that's terrible, obviously, right? But you can only control what is within your realm of control. And that is something that is not within your personal realm of control, in my opinion.
Fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore they're ashamed of.
And nobody likes Ben anymore. Red Dragon, thank you for the bits. Thank you. Also, free stuff doesn't have the same value as stuff you work for and buy. I did experiment with 3D prints with kids' free prints. They survive for a couple of months. But they last for years. Yeah.
It's in public. As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic Yowie ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all. Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want, left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get there. It just so happens.
And this is kind of the interesting thing is this is why things are getting really heated and super dangerous in terms of like political opposition. Is I think a lot of people do want that. In the end, what people want in terms of like economy, people want what's going to give Americans the best result. And we may disagree on that, right? But that is completely different from a faction that wants you to literally not exist and they want you to shut up and not be able to say what you want, what you're thinking. It's completely and this is the problem is like when it comes to that, there is no common ground for something like that. For something like the economy, there is common ground. What can we do to get to the best solution? What can we do to get to the best solution for everybody? I think that is a thing that for 90% of it, people can sort of, okay, that's the goal. That's what we both want. But we just disagree on how to get there. The other one is like, you must submit 100% or fuck you. And that's like the issue, basically. Is politics has shifted away from what's the best for Americans to like what's the best for our small individual group to like be able to give us power.
Ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp. Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to socialism, and you get a nuggie. So that was that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for.
I'll take it over Democrats right now. I'll take it over the Democrats
for more. And if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video uncensored a day early. If you can't or don't want to support me on Patreon, that's fine. I don't care. I didn't want you to anyway. Baka. Okay, I will see you guys soon with a fun slop video just in time for Christmas.
I like that. That was a good one. That was a good video. I'm like, I don't really agree. Like, obviously, I don't agree on everything with like with Shu, but I think that see, and this is the difference, right? When I see Shu and I see like her disagreements, we disagree on like the method of like attaining the thing that we both want. Does that make sense? Like, Shu wants what I want, just we think that the other person's like method of getting there is less effective. That's fundamentally different from a conversation with a hardcore leftist that's like, you will do exactly what I want or you will fucking die. And that's kind of what that's what I mean. It's not even close to the same thing. And this is why like a person like Shu, I could totally agree to disagree with, or, you know, we can still be members of the same country. I just don't know how you can even possibly do that with people that, with the turbo woke people. I don't know how it's possible to even want to be a member of the same country. It's so fucking outside of any sort of realm of agreement. Anyway, that's that video. I'll link you guys the video.